Rez Hokey would like to introduce our guest for episode number 89. He is fresh off winning Lord Stanley. He's a Bemidji State alumni, same as Bush. He's a Manitoba Junior alumni. Rez Hokey would like to introduce you from Sioux Valley, Dakota Nation, Mr. Zach Whitecloud. Welcome to the show, Zach.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys having me on and taking the time.
We'll talk about your Stanley Cup run in a bit, but at first, how did you get started in hockey?
I mean, it's obviously cliche, right? It's everyone. I think in some form or another, with whatever sport, I think their parents kind of push them in that direction or got them involved in sport, and it's no different for me. My dad played hockey as well. My mom was a broomball player and fastball player and volleyball, all those sorts of things. So having athletes as parents, it's I was pushed to play almost every sport I could growing up, just to kind of figure out what you love and try and find whatever you have a passion for. And they were always big believers of being part of a team, kind of all year round, and being in that atmosphere all the time. Obviously builds character. It allows you to, make new connections just outside of your hockey teams or whatever your major sport is, right? So, my parents were always good at not forcing me to play sports or anything like that, but provided me all the opportunities for whatever I wanted to do. So I ended up working my way into golf, even rugby, football, soccer, badminton, all these sorts of things, and just kind of, just playing sports because you love them, right?
Growing up, is there any specific hockey player that you looked up to?
I think for me, just like Jordan Tutu was a big one for me. Obviously he made the journey down to OCN and then on to Brandon, right? So our family we billeted Vikings for, I think, upwards of 15, 16, 17 years, just kind of growing up and providing them a home and stuff like that. So we always had billets kind of in and out, so we were always close with the players and those sorts of things, right? And Jordan Tutu was obviously a guy that was easy to relate to, because he had obviously I didn't grow up the same as Jordan, hadn't come from the same place, but we believed in the same things, practiced, our culture's the same way, and did all those sorts of things, right? And he played the game hard. He played it's no secret how Jordan Tutu played the game, and just kind of what person he is and the struggles he went through. And he's always kind of been that role model for me, where just to kind of push through life's battles and things like that, right? And everyone's journey is different, and everyone's dealing with something at some point in their life, and he's an example of that for me, and in terms of doing good in life and turning things around, and now he's a father, I think, of two, and living a great life, had a good career, and doing a lot of things for our people.
How was your experience playing for the Verdant Oil Capitals in the Manitoba Junior League?
Really, really, really fun experience there. That Verdant's got a special place in my heart, and it's definitely where I'll be taking the cup to this summer when I get my day with it, and making my way out there to just allow everyone in that community to kind of that supported me during my time there, especially my billets, and it's a small town, right? I think it's only maybe 2,500, 3,000 people that live there, and then the outskirts of like farmers and stuff like that, right? So I'm pretty excited to be able to take it there, because that's kind of where I got my footing in terms of kind of where my career, I would say, kind of started. Obviously you don't get paid in junior or anything like that, but I felt like that's kind of where I gained the passion for wanting to play and progress to each level. Because when I played AAA hockey in Brandon, I was never protected or anything like that, drafted or along those lines, and so I never really had plans to kind of play junior hockey, let alone like Western League or Junior A. So everything from there was kind of just bonus hockey. And then once I played my 2 years in Verdun, and then was lucky enough to get a scholarship to Bemidji, go play there, and fully went there with the intent to get my degree and go out and work and start my career. So just kind of every level that I kept getting to, it was just more bonus hockey. So
Bemidji State University. Sorry. How was it being a student athlete?
I loved it, and I mean, my girlfriend who's over there, she was a student athlete as well at Kansas University. She was a rower, so just having that student athlete experience is something that it was really exciting for me to experience, because growing up I wanted to play for the Brandon Wheat Kings and go to the Western League and be that Western Hockey League player, right? Which as many Western Canadians do. Except for maybe some of you guys who are in Ontario who go to the show HL there. But no, I always wanted to play in the Western League, and obviously that was never a goal that was kind of within reach for me. And then having the opportunity to go and be a student athlete and really just to honestly have the chance to mature there and kind of grow up a little bit, let my body catch up in terms of like development, in terms of skill development, all those sorts of things. We were able to work out a lot more, so that kind of helped. And then I felt like college actually really got me ready for the pro game. Not so much the scheduling that took a little bit of time to get used to, which I think all college players have that period of adjustment, because you go from, if you're lucky in college, if you make it all the way to the final, you get 43 games. And once you play 43 games in the American League before Christmas break, and so it's a big change. It's a big change, right? So. But as far as college preparing us in terms of strength and conditioning and all those sorts of things, it really was a big stepping stone for me.
What did you study?
It's a good question. Marketing and finance, and then I did a little bit of sports business. I think it was called business and sport, something like that.
What did you stay on campus?
Yeah, I stayed in Tampa.
The big tall building.
Yeah. It's still there. I was going to tell you before the show, I'm going back there for the alumni golf tournament this summer on what is it, July 13th or 14th. So that's going to be my first year back there since I left. Oh. So I'm actually pretty pumped up to be able to go back and see my D partner that I played with for 2 years is going to be there as well. So I'm pretty excited to see him and lots of my other buddies. Unfortunately, a few of my classmates that I went in with, my good buddies, that they can't make it, unfortunately. So, but there's still a bunch of guys there that I played with my first year on the team that were older than me that'll be back there. So I'm pretty excited.
Personal question: how many burgers did you decimate at Corner Bar?
Yeah, a couple burgers.
Yeah.
Couple burgers. Yeah, that place. I think that place has a special spot in every BSU Beavers heart for sure.
Oh yeah, it was quite the setup, actually. You just go
it was
burger.
fantastic. I mean, it's the ideal spot, except for it being so far away.
I know, yeah, that was a little problem. We ended up moving about maybe 3 blocks over near the cemetery when my second year there, so it was just a walk.
Oh, that's not bad. You're putting priorities first, eh?
Well, that golf course, is that past Noel's Peanut Room? Is that the golf course you're talking about?
The one that's on the north side of the lake there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably, I'd say it's probably like 15 minutes from campus.
Yeah.
You go straight north around the lake and you go over top of the lake, and it's right on it's actually a beautiful golf course. It's one of the better ones I've played on.
Okay, 2 years of playing at Bemidji, you signed with Las Vegas Golden Knights. Your contract's there on the table. How was it signing your first contract?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like forever ago, right? Now you're, I mean, not to be. I mean, sitting where you are now, I've created a life here. This is home now. What was that now? That was 6 years ago now. Yeah, a long time. In the initial feeling, because I went after we lost to Michigan Tech, I believe, in the second round of the playoffs, maybe even the first. And then things have been picking up, kind of heating up all year, right? Teams calling, checking in, kind of saying different things, whether they were interested or whatever it was. And then at the end of the year, when we lost out, my agent's from Brainerd, so I drove down there to hang out with him, and we just kind of went through the whole process of going through teams, why we would sign there, why we wouldn't sign there, looking at depth charts, looking at other prospects that were in the pipeline, those sorts of things. And I mean, it was a cool experience because I was never had I ever envisioned before that I would get to pick where I wanted to play in the NHL, and it was I was always told to kind of enjoy the process because there may never be an experience like that again, and just kind of narrowing it down and then finally landing on Vegas and signing there, and then within I think 2 days they had me on a plane with all my stuff, and I joined the team, and I think it was Buffalo, and next thing you know you're in the NHL from college, so it was a whirlwind of a time. It was nerve-wracking, it was stressful. But it was good stress to have, right? I mean, it was an opportunity of a lifetime, and I mean, it's still understanding at that point, you may never play in the NHL, right? That doesn't guarantee you that you're gonna, make it or anything like that. But just super grateful throughout the whole process, just to have, the opportunity to be able to talk to a lot of the people I did, talk to different teams, and just kind of knowing that you're going to get an opportunity at some point.
Yeah, you spent some time in the American League with the Chicago Wolves. How was it playing in the American League?
It was great. I was actually just talking. Our director of player development, his name's Will Nickel. He was on the ice with us when after we won, and myself and Hager, Kolsar, Coughlin, a lot of guys that kind of came up through that first year of when we all played with the Wolves. It was our rookie years as pros, and kind of for him, just like getting to kind of watch us grow up in the pro game, and Hager and I have been defense partners ever since, and in the American League all the way up through the NHL. So it was cool. We got to take a picture with him because he was the guy taking care of us and making sure that we were all good. And the American League, obviously, I truly believe everyone's got to go through the American League at some point, unless your name's Matthews or McDavid or something like that, right, Michael? Everyone's got to go through that process and learn how to play at the pro level that way, and kind of do your time a little bit, and eventually you'll get a chance, right? As long as you're taking care of yourself and you're doing the right things, playing the right way, all those sorts of things, right?
Last week, something big happened. You and the Golden Knights won the Cup, Stanley Cup. How are you feeling after a week has gone by?
Tired. No, it's been a crazy ride. I just got asked actually today, like kind of what it was like, and do you ever like kind of, because now that you sit here, you get to have a little bit of time at home and kind of decompress a little bit, and I find myself, whether I'm like just having a meal or something, then all of a sudden I'll remember that you just won the Stanley Cup. And you're just like, it kind of like goes right back to when you're handed the cup and you get to lift it, and just watching that clock run down to zero, and that feeling. I think it's hard. There's so many emotions that go through your mind. It's hard to describe, right? Because I'm sure you guys too. Like it's something that I grew up on the outdoor rinks in Manitoba, pretending that I was winning the Stanley Cup. As a kid in my backyard or on the outdoor rink. So a lot of those things come by, and I think one of the coolest things for me was seeing my parents right after, and just the look in their eyes and the smile on their faces, just because though of everyone that didn't expect like us to be here, it was definitely my parents, and they're the nicest people in the world. They're down to earth, they're hardworking, and but they're honest people. And if you were to ask them, did you ever think this was possible? They wouldn't even bat an eye. They'd say, heck no, it was never a thing. So being able to see them and lift the cup with them, have them, have their hands on it, and it's kind of it's a full circle moment, right? It's just a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice. Not just from me, I just play hockey, and that's what I've been lucky, and I've been super grateful to be able to play a game for a living. And not a lot of people get to do that, so I understand that. This is something that it's a privilege, right? It's not a right. So being able to do that, and again, I think see my parents, see my friends. My childhood best friend was there that night. We've been through some ups and downs, and being cut from teams, and he's been through all those that roller coaster ride, right? Yeah. So just being able to have him hand the cup to him, he got to lift it. He was he snuck into the dressing room after he was drinking out of it.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was just, there's a lot of things that go through your mind, and it feels like time's running a million miles an hour. But then I think once you get to kind of collect yourself and just think about it, and just think about what the team did, and what you've gone through as you've gone through your career and stuff like that, it all brings you to here, and it's just it's a dream come true. It makes you emotional, right? It's something that a lot of people work for, and some guys go through their careers not even getting close, right? So knowing the importance of how lucky you are and how grateful I am to be able to do what I do.
Brandon Montour from Six Nations here in Ontario, Florida Panthers defenseman. How awesome of a series was it playing against Brandon?
Yeah, it was cool. Obviously, with some representation from for our culture, kind of on both teams, was the bit of the narrative going into it, right? Was that right? So
yeah,
it was definitely cool, and obviously with what he's done over the course of the season, having one of his best years, and the scoring Terry went on in the playoffs, so it was cool to see that, and no, I think it was a cool thing for a lot of our people to be able to watch and see that some of our people are on the big stage doing playing the game they love, and just having fun doing it, and that it was just representation on the big stage was definitely a big thing, right?
So final countdown, how loud was the bench counting down?
Yeah, I mean, you're just I think Alec Martinez had me in a headlock for a good 5-10 seconds, and Hager was, everyone was just it's a feeling I won't ever forget, for sure. Just seeing that clock hit zero, and just knowing literally at that moment no one can ever take away from you that you're a Stanley Cup champion, and that your name's going to be on that mug for the next, I think it's like 60 years or something, until they take it off. And I don't know, I get emotional talking about it. It's wild, man. It's a wild feeling. You can't replicate it. You can't pretend that, hey, this is what it's going to feel like, and I won't cry, or I will, and you just let the emotions flow, and whatever kind of comes, and you're just grateful and you guys have been a part of teams forever, and then you're just grateful for so many good people you meet along the way, and people that you never forget, and I think you guys, and you've been on OCN too, right, where you're winning, and you remember how tight those teams are as a group of guys, and you can still probably call them up right now, and you guys can shoot the shit about what those times were like, and when you guys won, and when you guys weren't doing so well, and those are all the times that now you're brothers for life, and
for sure,
and that's a cool feeling, right?
Yeah, like Bush and I, we're in our 40s now, and I can message an old teammate from 25 years ago, and it's like, hey, remember this night when this happened with so and so?
Yeah.
It'll just light up in your head, and we'll just laugh about it, and we'll text other guys, and it'll just be a chain, and that's what exactly happens. You're brothers for life. So that's the one thing I really love about hockey, and I really try to encourage the youth that when you play with even if it's 5, 10, 15 games with certain person, you guys will be brothers for life, and you'll just have that connection.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And that's why sports is such an important thing, I think, for our youth too, is right. And my parents, did it the way that, I hopefully want to do with my kids, is that, go out and play as many sports as you can, be a part of as many teams as you can, meet as many people as you can. Because these are relationships that you create for life, right? And it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? I played, I think, soccer for maybe just a year, and still, know a lot of those guys that I played with, and not necessarily they don't have anything to do with hockey. It's just, if you ever run into them again, it's like, you're a part of that team. You had fun together, and you guys were teammates, right? So that stuff lasts. And that's why sports are important too, right? And I think obviously when you're talking about it, Trev, is that obviously when you win championships, it makes it a little bit easier to obviously, reach out again in whatever it is, 10 years when you're old and retired and whatnot. So, no, I think obviously winning makes it easier, but I think, I've been on a lot of teams with this organization that have been so tight and just cohesive, right? And it takes, special groups to win, and obviously you can feel how special it is to win with a good group of guys.
A part of hockey, the hockey culture, is being superstitious and having pregame rituals. Like when I play old timers, I still dress the same way as I did when I played juniors.
Yeah,
So
it doesn't change.
it doesn't change. So this playoffs, did you have any superstitions or pregame ritual that you like? Okay, we won because I did this certain game, or I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah. So just in general, like general life, I'm not superstitious at all. Even in the regular season, like let's say we go and we lose a game, and I played bad. I'll still wear the same suit the next night on the road, or I'll still eat the same pregame meal. I not once have I switched up my pregame meal. It's always been the same. And probably the only superstition that I truly feel is kind of affects me a little bit is if I'm a big morning skate guy. So if let's say we have a game at like 4, there's no morning skate that morning, right? Because the time's just too compact. I'll kind of get in my own head a little bit. Like I don't, for whatever reason, I like getting up, and I like feeling like I'm moving, I'm engaging in like, trying to pick up a pass or shoot or hit someone on the tape. Like I like my brain getting awake and kind of moving. And also that way I'm ready for my nap too. So, I not too often I take the option to either. So I like to get out there and morning skate and kind of just get moving. And so sometimes when I don't do that, I get in my own head a little bit, but, and then maybe the other thing is I try to pick up Chandler Stevenson a coffee from Starbucks. We for some reason, if he doesn't text me and I don't bring it to him, we end up losing, and then it just confirms that I got to keep bringing him coffees and stuff like that. So that would probably be the only one. But as far as like right skate, left skate, tape this way, tape that way, certain time I do stuff, none of that. I just, I've been lucky to have played this game. I've had no pressure at all in my career in terms of expectations. I've always been able to go into a team or a season and just play. And, I've never had to go out there and be like, hey, I got to get 30 points or I got to do this. You know what I mean? And obviously there's, you got to do your job on the ice to help the team win. And that's a different part. But, I haven't had too much pressure in my life in terms of, so I've been lucky to be able to just go out there and play freely. And I think that transfers over to how I prepare to play the game. Like, I don't think about hockey when I'm away from the rink too much. I typically don't start dialing in until after meetings and things like that. And just trying to stay loose and remember that, the game's there because we love it. It's fun. But obviously at this level, there's a job to do, right? And you're expecting to win. And that kind of, that's what allows me to play at my best, is when I'm, relaxed and just kind of, loose and having fun with it.
During the playoff run, were there any superstitions on your teammates that made you look twice and say, oh, well, if it works for him, it works for him?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if anyone does anything that's kind of a little out there. Honestly, there isn't anyone that's like, I have heard some guys that like they have to, let's say the game's at 7 and we have our meetings at 5:30. A guy has to like tape his stick at 5:20, be done by 5:25, and then at 5:27 he does this. Like guys have, I've heard some guys have like literally down to the second, their whole routine planned out, and that would stress me out. But no one on our team that's really like, there might be guys that are like right skate, right shin pad, those sorts of things. But other than that, nothing that I can think of that's like whoa. Are there any guys that that you play with at tournaments or anything that are like that?
I'm
Just
still,
just
yeah, I'm
Trevor.
still like that. I gotta go left to right, like everything. Then if I accidentally put my right skate on, I'll take it off. I'll untie it and I'll take it off and I'll put my left skate in. I don't know. I've been,
If you're zoned out, you accidentally put your right skate on.
yeah. Then I'll like shit. I put on my wrong skate and I'll take it off and I don't know. I've been doing it since like Bantam, so I've been doing it since the '90s. So I'm an old timer
Hold
now.
on.
So
Hold on. I just came to mind. I do have a superstition in terms of my skates. When I lace them up, I go underneath, so I go like through and through.
yeah.
So that like that lace is on the top of the skate, like it's lying on the skate, and then I have to make sure that they're exactly even. So like I pull them up and I like move them like that so that they're exact. And I'm sitting there like this, looking at the eyelets like this, making sure that they're exactly fine. And then the outside lace goes over top first. So I'll put the inside lace under, and then I'll put the outside one over top. And then every single lace from there on out, the inside goes over top.
Yeah, I never heard that one before. So
Yeah, so that one I learned from my D partner in college, actually.
nice.
Yeah.
Growing up, we always thought like, what would we do if we ever had a chance with the cup, a day with the cup? Have you thought what you're gonna do yet with your day?
Yeah. I mean, it's you kind of go back and forth, right? Because I'm lucky that I get to play with a lot of legends. I mean, Petro, Martinez, Quick guys. Those two LA guys have won 3 cups now. Barbashev with 2, Petrangelo with 2, Phil with 3, and they all say the same thing: is like you want to try when it's your first one, you want to try and like show as many of your friends and family and get them to have the experience too, right? But there's got to be a time in the day where you can kind of like just sit and decompress and like maybe just sit with it and just like hold it and just kind of chill out with it a little bit. So it's tough, right? Because as of right now, like you don't know when it's going to get to you, right? It's because you get a full day, but you don't know like what city it's coming from or like what time it'll be in there. So it's I am gonna take it to my home community, those Sioux Valley. So we're gonna go out there for a few hours, spend a little time in Verdun after that. Back at my junior rink, allow everyone in the town to, if they want to come, they can come see it, get a picture, whatever, and then head back into Brandon, have just kind of like a barbecue type deal, I think, with friends and family, and just be able to sit with it. People can get pictures and stuff like that, and then just do a little party at night, just for a bunch of people that I played with or either cross paths with, that sort of thing.
Nice. Before we finish our interview, we always finish with our past guests. We call it 5 rapid myth questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Yeah.
Question number 1: baked or fried bannock?
Always fried.
Question number 2: ever use a bed sheet for a door or curtain?
Yeah, I haven't. No.
Question number 3: you might say yeah to this one because you're a Manitoba boy. Ever see Ernest Munias live in concert?
Honestly, I was a kid though, so he might have been at Winterfest a few times, and I probably have seen him. Honestly, I just don't remember. So let's go with yes.
We'll go with yes. Question number 4: bannock burger or Indian taco?
I mean, both. It's bannock burger.
5th and last question: can you jig?
I cannot. No, I can't. The podcast that I've listened to quite a few of your guys stuff, and there aren't too many people that can. Hey,
No,
No.
I like hockey players. Like I thought that we'd be able to two-step pretty good, but a lot of the guys can't. So I don't know.
I can double crossover just fine. I can't two-step though.
That's sweet. Well, Doc, thank you for taking the time to join us on the show. I know you're extremely busy and after winning the cup, but we thank you and we really appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, appreciate you guys taking the time. I love listening to your stuff. You guys do a good job of highlighting Indigenous athletes and promoting sports to the youth and all that sort of stuff. So I like listening to your podcast. You guys are doing good stuff. So no, I appreciate you guys having me on. It's you guys are fun, energetic, and you guys talk about the right stuff. And I'm always happy to try and help out wherever I can. So
thanks a lot. That we really appreciate those words.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we'll talk to you again, and hopefully our paths meet up one of these days.
Yeah, maybe at a tournament in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you.
Okay.